She doesn't have to have any of those numbers to access it to be It's a number that it's
It's just you and me today. Mm-hmm. Ready when the clock strikes.
Also council meeting. Council meeting last week, how was that? We had what?
We just need to,
Forward.
we can do it fine.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Committee stuff. It's good stuff. When you gotta have committee meetings, that means things are happening. Worst problems to have.
How about if you and I,
Somebody got that clock locked in.
I'm not trying to give you all the time, I just know what happened. You know, we followed everything in the bank, and it just went off.
All right, it is 3:00 p.m., Wednesday, February 26, 2025. And Deputy Mayor Jacob Palmisel calling to order the regular session of the Logansport Board of Public Works and Safety. And we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Levi Jones. Jacob Palmisel.
Here.
Chris Martin. Absent.
All right, now on the approval of minutes for the February 19th, 2025 meeting.
Motion to approve?
All right, I'll second. Is there any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmisel.
Yes.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
All right, now on the approval of claims for $882,639.77. This includes claims of $391,072.91. TIF Industrial Park claim of $2,700. TIF Combined claim of $8,391.50. TIF Discretionary claims of $171.38. Payroll claim for November of $541.27. Payroll claim for December of $222,600.47, and payroll claims for January of $257,162.24. Make a motion to approve the claims as presented.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
Jacob Palmisel.
Yes. All right, now on to public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to come forward and say something? Please state your name and address for us.
Hello,
Hello.
Scott Jones, 3121 Summit Avenue, and just take a few minutes of you guys' time, just maybe see if I can get some clarification, some understanding and direction on a couple things. I promise it won't last as long as the last one. On 6/7/2023, I was terminated from the Logansport Fire Department by the Board of Works, and through that termination, it was volunteered and said that my pension would be paid up, and to this date, my pension has not been paid up. So we're rapidly approaching another 2 years since June 7th, 2025 will be 2 years. So therefore, you've kind of put me in a limbo where you haven't paid up my pension, that I have no income stream when I have a right to an income stream. So I'm trying to understand through it. You had me on administrative leave, and we've kind of weathered that storm for the most part and still weathering it, but I'm in the process of providing some discovery information that's been requested of me from the city in that regard. And as we know that when I was put on administrative leave, everything was supposed to be stayed. No other further action could be taken until the criminal charges ran their course. And that is one thing, but also I may stand corrected. By no means am I an attorney, but I did appeal your decision, and it says in the statute, from what I can see, that if I appeal it, that the board's decision is, stays as it is, and it can be reversed by the trial court, but it stays and it's not supposed to be affected by the decision that the board made on June 7th, 2023. And so you said you was going to pay up my pension, and that hasn't been done. And so you said you was going to take care of my insurance. Usually on an exit from an employer, they're offered their COBRA, they're paid for their outstanding overtime, they're paid for their outstanding vacations. I've had no exit interview, no nothing, and in the process of providing insurance information for the city. I'm just curious, if you haven't paid up my pension as you voluntarily said you would do, can I take it at heart that maybe the termination is up in limbo too? Maybe if you can give me some clarification on that?
Scott, you're asking questions that are involved in your case. You have a lawyer. We can't talk to you and discuss it.
I'm not talking about my case, I'm talking about my termination in
That is
regards to
all
what you said you'd pay up my pension. You've left me here where I can't even draw my pension, I can't even put my paperwork in for my pension until you pay it up.
Never been prevented from filing your paperwork.
Yes, I am.
Who
They
told
will
you?
not accept my paperwork, Kelly.
Okay, well, I'd say talk to your lawyer about that then.
I have,
Okay,
but
well then tell
until
her.
you pay up my pension and do that through the employer side of my pension, they can't accept my paperwork.
Scott, we can't talk to you in a public meeting. You have a lawyer who is your representative in
Fair
these
enough.
matters with the city.
Fair enough, I'm just wondering why you didn't follow through with what you voluntarily said you was gonna do, which was pay up my pension.
I think there's
You know?
some confusion, and I think that
No,
needs to be rectified with your lawyer.
Like I said, I just come here for some clarification, some understanding, and,
You've got
you
all
know,
you're gonna
I'm
get.
definitely starting to understand why you can't fight City Hall, especially when it comes down to just basics, and you guys voluntarily said you'd pay up my pension, and you haven't done it. So, thanks for your time. Have a good day.
Done. All right, any other public comment? Seeing none, we have no old business. We're on to new business. First up, we have contracts and agreements. Barton Environmental Consulting. Dave? You.
Good afternoon, Dave.
Pardon?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Levi. Good to see you guys. Yeah, we put out requests for bids to do some assessment of the asbestos and the lead in the memorial home. We passed Resolution 2025-104, authorizing expenditures up to $9,000 for such assessments. And we came back with the lowest, we reached out to 6 companies, only 2 responded. And of those, Barton's, the one that you see up here on the screen, bid $7,845. So I'd like to get approval for that contract so we can move forward with it.
Very good. I will go ahead and make a motion to accept the contract with Barton Environmental Consulting.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmso,
Yes.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. Next up, we have Spring Creek Landscaping and Nursery. Afternoon, Aaron.
This is our contract that we usually do for downtown, the pocket parks. I can go through each one, or it's just the same pocket parks that we always do. Would not exceed $6,710. This includes maintenance, trash cleanup, weed, and spraying for any infestation.
Motion to approve?
Second. Any further discussion? Call for question.
Levi Jones,
Yes.
Jacob Palmso.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Aaron. All right. Next up, we have professional services agreement for Alston Witzig for the farmers market project. This is part of the subsurface investigation there as we go about transferring the property and getting that project off the ground. So this is the last thing the city was going to do prior to doing the property transfer. So I will go ahead and make a motion to accept the agreement with Olson Witzig for the farmer's market lot.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmso,
Yes.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
All right, now you're up, Ken. So we have photography services agreement with Page Craft.
I just can't wait. Yeah, this is for daddy-daughter dance.
Very nice. Always a great event. And this is, so when is that coming up?
You would ask me that. It's in May.
Just trying to remind any dads out there watching, I know this gets people in trouble every year. There's no doubt about it. So I will go ahead and make a motion to accept the photography services agreement.
I'll second.
Call for question.
Levi Jones,
Yes.
Jacob Palmso.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jan.
Thanks, Jan.
All right, and then next up, we have, this is the 1-month extension for the Language Matters translation services agreement that the city uses. So this is within the mayor's contractual services budget, just an extension while we work on a future deal for these services. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to accept the language services agreement with Language Matters.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmso,
Yes.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have the lot use request from the Logansport Farmers Market. This year, they are planning to utilize the city lot that is catty corner to the previous and future farmers market lot, but with the likelihood that construction may get started there sooner rather than later, they don't want to have to switch up their locations mid-season. So this will be good. Maybe some growing pains in that area, it'll be a little different, but all in service of a great project, and look forward to them having a great season. I know we'll be there when they start opening up, already getting the grocery list together. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the lot use request for the city lot at the corner of 4th and Market Street.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmso,
Yes.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have Mount Hope Cemetery monthly report for January 2025.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Bob.
June.
How was the month?
Well, for the month of January, we cleaned and maintained the equipment in the grounds, assisted in burials and grave locations for the public and the funeral homes. We had 7 traditional burials for the month of January and drove a total of 682 miles to get this.
Awesome. Great work. Make a motion to approve the monthly report for the cemetery.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? Call for question.
Levi Jones,
Yes.
Jacob Palmso.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
All right, now on to the street department. First up, we have the handicap parking sign request for 1802 East Broadway.
Yeah, I believe this is the one you did, Dave. Yeah, he checked it out. Everything seems to be fine. They've got a bad family situation. More than one person could benefit from it, so.
Yeah. Very good. Make a motion to approve the handicap parking sign request for 1802 East Broadway.
Second.
All right, call for question.
Jacob Palmso,
Yes.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
All right, next we have application for curb street cut. First up, we have Cervantes Concrete and Construction for 1904 Smead Street.
Yes, it's a sewer line they need to work on. And they said they should be able to get it done within 3 days. And traffic will be able to pass through at least one lane that entire 3 days.
Perfect. All right, make a motion to approve the curb street cut request for 1904 Smead Street.
Second.
Call for question.
Levi Jones,
Yes.
Jacob Palmso.
Yes. Next up, we have curb street cut request for Max Heating at 829 East Market Street.
Yeah, this was a little different than normal. I talked with some of the board members about what his initial plans were, and we changed the designs, and so, you know, this is the situation. You know, all you need to do is cut the curb.
Yeah.
We're gonna have one single lane coming in off 9th Street. You'll have 4 parking spaces next to the apartment. He's converting on the alley, and they'll exit to the alley.
Very good. That's a much better scenario than what was talked about before. And looking forward to seeing those buildings kind of put into nice use and fixed
Oh,
up
yeah.
again. It'd be a really good thing for the city for that corner. So I'm excited to see what they can do there. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to accept the curb street cut request for 829 East Market Street.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Thomasville,
Yes.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
All right, and last but not least, for the curb cuts, we have NIPSCO at 803 Race Street.
Yes, it's a alley cut. They're just gonna run a gas line from the back of the house to the main line in the alley. And start date, February 26th, end date, March 26th. There's a mistake down further, the anticipated date of repair. It has down 11/30 of 2024. I'm sure they just copied this form and forgot to change that.
Yeah.
It'll be within that window.
Okay. Very good. I'll make a motion to approve the curb street cut request for 803 Race Street.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Levi Jones,
Yes.
Jacob Thomasville.
Yes. Thanks, Chad.
Thanks, Chad.
All right, next up we have code enforcement. We'll start with the weekly report. Afternoon, Randy.
All right, last week we sent out 37 new notices. We had 48 properties that were cleared from the weeks before. Still have 27 that are pending. Sent out 13 citations, 13 notices to appear. We have the whole list of the notices to appear on there. Tagged 3 more cars. We got 10 that are pending at this moment. And that's where we're at right now.
Very good. All right, make a motion to approve the weekly report for code enforcement.
Second.
Call for question.
Jacob Thomasville,
Yes.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
All right, and next up, we have requests for property cleanup or multiple violation properties. First up, we have 1305 North Street. Is anyone here to represent 1305 North Street? And seeing nobody, Randy, go ahead.
At this time, this property is cleaned as of today, but this is a multiple violation. This is the 3rd time in less than a year that we've had to be here for trash and stuff out there. The last time we sent them the $100, they cleaned up before they had to come in, so we went ahead and gave them a pass. This time, same thing, but they still haven't paid either one of the fines that have been placed. So at this point, we're just asking to have another fine to get on there, see if they will at least try to respond to us and communicate with us.
So where would this fall in our tier system then?
It falls under the tier 2, so it'd be the 500 to 1,000.
Okay. Go ahead and, so we don't need a property cleanup here?
Don't need to clean up on this one, no.
So let's go ahead and vote on the property cleanup first. So yes would be for cleanup, no would be for not cleanup. So I'll make a motion to vote on the property cleanup for 1305 North Street.
No.
Second.
Call for question.
Levi Jones,
No.
Jacob Thomasville.
No. I will make a motion to place a $500 fine on 1305 North Street for multiple violations.
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion?
One thing, how often is this, you said it's a multiple violation, how often have you seen this? And have they explained what the reason it continues to happen is?
This property itself has been the 3rd time in the 12-month period that we've had to deal with this. And they have had no contact with us. This is a rental property. It's a duplex they have. So our biggest issue is, like we said before, if they communicate with us, we'll work with them. But when we've had no response, we feel like sometimes these fines are the best way to get their attention to come in and talk to us, to understand what they need to do to fix their problem.
Okay,
That's
so
why we allow the appeal process
Right.
too, is
Yeah.
to
we allow.
Hey, this is your last chance to come in.
This, to say, hey, we don't agree with this. That means they need to come in, explain what their game plan is, so we don't have to keep coming back to these.
All right, any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmasol,
Yes.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
All right. So now we're moving on to 1807 George Street. Is anyone here to represent 1807 George Street? All right, seeing nobody, Randy, go ahead.
This one was a call and a complaint about the trash and debris on the property. When we got there, and we've sent several letters out to different people, this property is listed as uninhabitable by the health department, so nobody's supposed to be living there. We haven't seen any activity there, but all this trash and stuff needs to get cleaned up. This shed was just part of the pictures where there's rodents and stuff going in and out of the shed. That's where the complaints are coming at. We need to get that stuff kind of cleaned up, closed up. Can't really do anything about sheds containing rodents. We'll have that no matter what. But it's when it's open and exposed and trash being out like that, and got trash in the front yard. So this is just a cleanup right now.
Very good. I will make a motion to vote on the property cleanup for 1807 George Street.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Call for question.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
Jacob Palmasol.
Yes. All right. So next property we have is 2201 Jefferson Street. Is anyone here to represent 2201 Jefferson Street? Please state your name for us.
Matthew Shelton.
Matthew, thank you. Randy, go ahead.
This one started on 127. There's mattresses and trash and debris out there. We sent the letters. We actually gave this one an extra week extension, and I believe it was your mother called us on Monday.
Yeah.
And let us know that they were going to clean up. As of 10 o'clock today, it's all cleaned up
Clean?
and stuff and done, so there's no cleanup needed on this one.
Great, love to hear that. Now, is this multiple violation, or is this just cleanup?
This is just cleanup,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, we love to see that, so I will go ahead and make a motion to vote on the property cleanup for 2201 Jefferson Street.
Second.
Matthew, do you have anything you wanted to say? Okay, well, thank you for getting it cleaned up.
Cleaning it up.
Yeah, call for question.
Jacob Palmasol.
No.
Levi Jones.
No.
All right, next up, we have 1715 East Market Street. Is anyone here to represent 1715 East Market Street? I'm seeing nobody. Randy, go ahead.
Again, this one started on 2-4. This was furniture and stuff that was inside a fenced-in area, but the gate's broken and open. We actually talked to the tenants there. I gave them the letters for when bulk pickup was. We gave them how to deal with getting rid of this stuff, all the steps to take care of it, and they've still left it there. So as of today, it still looks the exact same.
This is just a property cleanup, no
This
local.
is just a property cleanup.
All right, I'll make a motion to vote on the property cleanup for 1715 East Market Street.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? Call for question.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
Jacob Palmasol.
Yes. All right, next up, we have 1821 Smead Street. Is anyone here to represent 1821 Smead Street? Please state your name for us. Thank you. Randy, go ahead.
Again, this has got, started on 2-3. This has got mattresses in the back, trash, debris, building materials all laying out in the back. This is the first contact we've had with them that we need to get this all cleaned up. This is just, basically there's building work going on there. There's mattresses just thrown out in the back. We need to get it cleaned up.
Okay, and then still right now, it's not cleaned up?
This morning when we went by, it was still
The
looking.
mattresses aren't there, so I don't know what about the mattresses, but mattresses there.
The
Everything else is
mattresses
still-
are gone, but the rest of the stuff's
Right,
still
yeah.
there. So only doing one part of it isn't solving our violation issue. Because we got listed on there, it's all the trash, building material, mattresses, all that.
Well,
You can-
it's still being remodeled. There's a pause for the winter, obviously, but, other than that, it's being remodeled, and, we got plan on renting one of those dumpster things to
Mhm.
get rid of it, but we're trying to wait for the weather to warm up a little bit, so.
Well, now might be your time. But I appreciate that it's getting fixed up. I think that's a great thing. The property needs to be cleaned up, and if you're getting a dumpster, I'd urge you to get it soon. And I think we'd be willing to give an extension on this for,
I could table this for 2 weeks, but as I kind of mentioned before with the properties that are doing renovations and stuff, even when they get their permits through the building department, they're responsible to keep that cleaned up at all.
that's exactly right.
We don't just take it, throw it all outside and leave it. We have to stay maintaining on top of it and keep it looking decent.
So we're willing, do you think you can get it cleaned up in the next 2 weeks?
I doubt 2 weeks. I would ask for maybe 30 days to get all that stuff. I mean, we'll try to get stuff cleaned up outside, but we still gotta look for a dumpster and stuff. And I don't know what he means by first contact, if you guys can explain that, because I don't know what that means.
That nobody had,
Well, see, when we send these
For
out, we
response.
send a door notice, it's on, we send the letters out, we send another letter out, and with this being the first time you've contacted us, when we were talking, just started on the 3rd of February, so we're, 23 days into it? And it took to this point before anybody would contact us. Where if we contact before we get to this point, we wouldn't have to sit here right now, we would already work something out to get to that point. We could have said, hey, we'll give you an extension until March 1st, or whatever. But at this point, we didn't have any contacts,
We
so
weren't aware that we had to call you. You just gave us, 2 letters? And
at the bottom of our letters, it says, if you have any
Yeah,
questions
if
or whatever,
you
you
have
may
any
contact
if
the
you have any
office.
questions. We thought, you didn't say call us to fix this. It's in the wording.
well, had you fixed it, then it wouldn't have been a problem anyway. So had you had the property cleaned up, then he wouldn't have sent you the second letter. It just would have been cleared. So that's the issue, is that had you either gotten a hold of him and said, hey, we're getting this figured out, we're getting a dumpster, can we get a little more time? That's something that could have been figured out, and that's something we can figure out today still. We appreciate you coming in and not just ignoring it, so we're willing to work with you. But your neighbor shouldn't have to sit next to a place that has a bunch of building materials thrown out. If you're doing renovations, you have to keep it clean, you have to have a dumpster there and be prepared for these things. And so,
I'm willing to give 2 weeks. I mean, if you want to do 30 days, that's fine.
I don't want to do 30 days.
I like 30 days is too long to get it.
No,
What's the issue on getting the dumpster?
We don't know where to get one just yet.
You can call On Point. There's several facilities within town you can get a dumpster from. You've seen those big orange dumpsters and trash cans. That is On Point. I mean, Randy probably has their number he could give to you.
I've got a lot of numbers in the office, yeah.
So I'm willing to give 2 more weeks, and after this meeting, Randy will be hanging around, so you can get with him afterwards, and he'll tell you exactly what needs to be done to get you in compliance in the next 2 weeks, and he'll be able to help you, identify maybe who would be a good dumpster company, and depending on what needs to be done, we can connect you with the street department and make sure everything's good. But I think 2 weeks is plenty of time to get this done.
I do appreciate your renovations, Phil.
Yeah,
I've renovated my own house, and I understand you do need a dumpster because there's no place to put the brick, the lath, everything that comes out of an older home. So we do appreciate that. But
I honestly think where it's at, we would have never got the call if the mattresses hadn't been thrown out there to begin with. Because once we saw that, and then we saw everything else, that just makes it, one extra thing blows it up. So that's the biggest thing, is we just can't throw it out in the backyard, even though we're trying to work on it. So
They have the big trash can there too?
They
have
need the 96s
brown one.
there.
They need to get one?
the
So,
96 there, yeah.
so we can do that too. We can get a bigger trash can for that location, so there's a little more stuff that you can get rid of.
So can we get it for both of them?
We could check into that.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, you just got to make sure that everything, so maybe after this, we can circle up after the meeting and help you with a
Yeah.
couple of those
We can
things.
get you situated. And that's part of, like we say, if you contact us, we can work through a lot of these issues, before we even get.
Yeah, we don't want to drag you in here. We just want it to get cleaned up and get done. So we appreciate you coming in. I'll make a motion to table this for 2 weeks.
I'll second.
Would I have to come back in 2 weeks?
If you
No, just deal with him.
contact with me and you let me know what's going on, we can discuss whether I need you to come in or not. If you
Yeah.
feel like it's progressed good enough, then I can deal with it from there. Okay?
So call for question.
Jacob Homicide?
Yes.
Levi Jones?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. That was 1821 Smead, right? So I will move on to 1918 George Street. Is anyone here to represent 1918 George Street? Seeing nobody, Randy, go ahead.
This one started on 2-3 from a complaint. This had mattresses, loose debris and stuff on the property. As of now, the mattresses have been moved from one spot, put to another spot. They're still not dealt with and cleaned up. The entire property has some issues that I'm trying to deal with, but this was a small focus to get things going. This is a multiple violation property in itself, too. This is like the second or third time this year we've had to deal with this one. I've been in contact with the actual owner of the property and then the contract owner of the property as well, trying to deal with them to get this cleaned up. Because we have a lot of stuff on this one.
So we have the property cleanup and multiple violation on this one. Okay. Where would this fall? Is this a tier 2 as well?
It falls into the tier 2.
Same thing, okay. Well, I will go ahead and make a motion to vote on the property cleanup and a $500 fine for multiple violations.
I'll second that. And Randy, does your notices, do they say anything about how mattresses need to be wrapped? and things
We
like
put, in every letter that we write, like when we do our first letter, when we send them out, we have like a resolution statement in there. What we do is we actually give them detail on all mattresses must be wrapped in plastic for bulk pickup, when their bulk pickup days are. Our initial letter, we do that in every resolution. Plus in our description, we put exactly what, we put trash, debris, whatever we think it is in that.
Okay, I only asked because my neighbor went to throw a mattress out once, and she just set it out there, and she had no idea that it needed to be
Right.
wrapped. So I went and told her, I think you can go here to get this, and they'll take it.
Most of our letters, when we send them out, we try to put as much information as we can on there to get it cleaned up before we have to come back again.
All right, we have a motion and a second for the proper cleanup and a $500 multiple violation fine. Call for question.
Levi Jones?
Yes.
Jacob Homicide?
Yes. All right, next up, we have 1630 East Market Street. Is anyone here to represent 1630 East Market Street? Seeing nobody, Randy, go ahead.
This one actually was cleared this morning by
Ah.
10 a.m., so.
I'd like to hear that, and this is just property
Just the
cleanup?
property cleanup was all it was, yep.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and make a motion to vote on the property cleanup for 1630 East Market Street.
Second.
Call for question.
Jacob Homicide?
No.
Levi Jones?
All right, next up, we have 922 18th Street. Is anyone here to represent 922 18th Street? State your names for us.
Greg Stark, and this is my son, Josh.
All right, thank you. Randy, go ahead.
All right, this one actually started back in December. We had call and complaint on the excessive amount of lawnmowers and stuff laying up there on the hill, the trash, the debris, looked like scrap metals, all that. Greg did call in. He talked to Sandy in there. Sandy set it in. We sent an extension out for 30 days. At the time, when I don't know the exact date you
Well, I
called, but
wasn't sure on that either.
yeah, but we ended up setting it, so our reinspection date ended up being the 10th of February. So we're already talking 2 months, basically, we gave this. Going back by, we haven't progressed enough to do this, and we tried to include the pictures from the street level, so you guys can see actually from where our complaints are coming from the street. So there's a lot of
Well, we've cleaned a lot
Excess.
of that up here lately, so.
Well, we went by today, there's been a small change, but there hasn't been enough to be cleaning it up. And I think we went through this a couple of
Well,
years ago,
like
you and I
said,
talked
right now, I
about
don't
it.
have a way to haul anything. far as, I've got stuff I'm getting rid of, and I got rid of.
We got rid of a bunch of stuff Saturday, we got
Saturday.
rid of a bunch of it already, we're just.
Just a matter of, the weather changed and been so, even when you
It's a
give me that
bit colder the
extension, I
last couple
couldn't do
weeks, and it finally got
anything.
nice this last
So-
weekend, I was working on it this whole weekend.
So, we are working on it, like a little more time if I can, so I can get somebody to help me haul shit out.
A couple weeks?
I would say we'll give a couple weeks and see if we can see a bigger improvement.
Okay.
The biggest thing is we don't need to go back to this. A couple years ago,
Well,
you and I had
yeah,
it
we did
extended.
that, I know.
And we worked with you and I worked with you and we got her really looking decent and then all of a sudden we're back. So, I mean, any other property that was in the 12-month, we'd already be looking at putting a fine on the property for this. But we've got this spread out over a long period of time. So my goal is I don't want to get the complaints anymore on this.
Okay, I understand that.
I'm willing to work with anybody that wants to work with me, but I've got to see progress and I don't know. I mean, how many mowers do you have up there right now?
I've got probably 3 or 4.
You might want to look. I think you got a few more than that. I think we counted at one point, there was like 8, and I'm like, you don't,
Well, I've got rid of them.
okay, you might have got rid of them by now, but I just, you only really need like maybe 2. Or, if they're not running, let's get rid of them. I mean, that's an issue.
Yeah.
Right now.
Or find a different way or place to store them if you're going to do that, yeah.
Either moved up, if nothing else, I'm gonna buy tarps, because I got a back section back there to where I can fence it off even if I wanted to.
Yeah, I think a privacy fence would maybe be your best bet, as long as you're meeting all the
As long as
building and
it's
zoning
meeting all the
requirements.
Building requirements and stuff like that, but it doesn't fix the problem.
No.
I've been
You
trying to
know.
get rid of stuff, trust me.
I know. We've seen, like I said, we've seen some improvement, just, we gotta get, if we're gonna be doing all these other
understand.
properties and getting this other stuff cleaned up, we need to do this.
Do we think we can make substantial progress in 2 weeks on it, or?
I think so. Yeah, as long as the weather don't smack us in the face like it did.
I'll take advantage of it when it's good.
I mean,
Then.
I'll give it another couple of weeks, but we can't have this
Yeah.
thing out
I've
for
got-
3, 4, 5
I
months.
got people that can get a trailer and stuff, I just haven't got to that point yet.
Yeah.
We got rid of, I think, what, 5, 6 mopeds?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
stuff that I accumulated I accumulated it and it was supposed to be gone and
Well,
weather changed.
now's the time to unaccumulate
My
it.
health kind of changed too, so it kind of messed me
I mean,
up.
I'm all
So,
for 2 weeks. I'll
Let's
go
do-
back and re-inspect and see where we're at, and then we can go from there. If we need to move, I've
Yeah.
got his number.
And, yeah, stay in contact with Randy and make sure,
Even if you can't get a hold of me, if you talk to Sandy in the office, Sandy she can tell you the same
Well,
thing
that's
I
how
would
I
tell
got
you. Yep.
contact with you the last.
That's perfect.
Like I said, I was wanting to do something, but I can,
Yeah, that's,
Supposed to be 60 tomorrow, that's a perfect day.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying, this last few days, we've got quite a bit done, we got some stuff hauled out, got rid of it.
once again, appreciate you coming in. We'll work with you. We want to get it cleaned up. We don't want to pester you, and hopefully Randy doesn't have to bother you ever again. I think that's his goal.
My goal.
My goal is to
I have
have
enough
my
to do
garage
right now.
fixed.
So I'll make a motion to table 922 18th Street for 2 weeks.
I'll second.
All right. Call for question.
Jacob Palmso,
Yes.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And then last up, we have 1816 George Street. Is anyone here to represent 1816 George Street? Seeing nobody, Randy, go ahead.
As of 10 o'clock, this one's clean.
And this is just property cleanup?
Property cleanup.
Oh, we'd love to see that.
All right, good to hear, Randy.
We'd love to see that. We'd like to happen earlier, but yeah.
I'd
That's,
like to have it a lot earlier before all the paperwork.
we're getting there. We'll take the wins where we can get them. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to vote on the property cleanup for 1816 George Street.
Second.
Call for question.
Levi Jones,
No.
Jacob Palmso.
No. Thanks, Randy.
Thanks, Randy.
Good day. All right. Next up, we have animal control. Third animal violation for 119 Western Avenue. Is anyone here to represent 119 Western Avenue? Seeing nobody. Keith, go ahead.
I'm here about case 25-01107. This individual came in on the 31st. He was bitten by a dog on the 27th. and this is the third bite that's happened in the last 6 months. The first bite happened in August, the next bite happened in October, and then this one happened just in January. So he's had 3 city citations and 2 state citations issued to him. To my knowledge, as of last Friday, he hasn't paid any of them. So I'm here to push for him to be, under Section 19, under the city ordinance, be listed as a habitual offender and seek a minimum of $500 fine and possible seizure of his dog. He refuses to put it on a lead or a leash or build a fence or a kennel, so it keeps biting people.
I mean, a leash is straight up required. I mean, you can't just let your dog run around, especially if it's
It sits on his porch most of the time from what I've seen. I've continued to patrol the area, and I haven't seen it for the last few times that I've been out there. But I do know from speaking to his neighbors that they are very nervous of even approaching around that property. He hasn't responded. I've reached out multiple times to contact him. I've tried to meet him in person, and he dodged the meeting. So it just needs to be escalated.
Okay. So the fine will be 500 for the habitual offender, is that right?
That's the minimum, yes.
Might do the bigger fine, and then if he gets something done, cut it in half or something.
Yeah, because he's got 400 worth of citations that he hasn't paid. And then, from what I understand, the minimum fine is 500 under habitual offender, up to 1,500. And possible seizure of the animal.
And so for us, what does seizure of the animal look like? Is that, if it gets out again, we catch it, it's ours, or do we have a way to go in and take it? I guess
That takes the
court order.
The court's got to make that decision.
So that's why I just wanted to verify that part on, I think if it gets out again and we end up with the dog, animal control wise, that's when we, make that decision on not giving it back.
Right.
At that point, but I don't think we don't go on and get it.
I'm in agreement with the fine, because maybe the $500 fine is going to push the individual to do something, take control of it.
Yeah, well, it has to be done.
A dog kennel's cheaper than $500. I don't know why he hasn't done it before now, but.
Yeah, it has to be done. So I will go ahead and make a motion to, do we have, is it just the address, or?
His name is Brendan Easton.
Brendan Easton at 119 Western Avenue. So I'll make a motion to name him as a habitual offender and place a $500 fine for the multiple citations.
second.
Is there any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Thomasville,
Yes.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks.
All right, and last up, we have electrical licenses. Just one for John Lindell doing business as Lindell Generator and Electrical. We got everything there for it, so I will go ahead and make a motion to accept the electrical license for John Lindell doing business as Lindell Generator and Electrical.
Second.
Call for question.
Levi Jones,
Yes.
Jacob Thomasville.
Yes. All right, board member comments. Levi, you got anything?
You?
I don't either. It's enjoy the weather, get the flip-flops out, the beach balls, everything. It's that time of year. So we'll move on to miscellaneous business and any matters not already considered, including ADA Section 504 compliance or concerns. Seeing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Call for question.
Jacob Thomasville,
Yes.
Levi Jones.
Yes.
All right, we're adjourned.